How heavily can you influence the nature of your reality? Big question. Now, I'm just running around the house trying to clean up a bit before I go head off to my wage slave job, and I thought I'll hit record because I'm trying to because I was doing some contemplations. So I'm going to get a hooded jumper on now, and this is going to be probably a new series of some description where I'm just going to contemplate out loud somewhat, just for the sake of it, and see what I can maybe conclude, fuck it. So, how heavily can you manifest your reality? So I've got a lot clearer recently. So the reason I'm putting the hooded jumper on, is I'm putting my phone in the hood so that you can fucking hear me properly while I'm running around. Oh, shit. Dropped my phone. While I'm running around so that the recorder is close to me. So, what do I mean exactly by how much can you manifest your reality? I think somewhat the best examples, right, and what I'm so heavily influenced on, and if it wasn't for this source of information, I would be in the dark a whole lot more than I am now, and that is simply video content. A lot of people hate on video content, right? They go, oh, just because you watch loads of YouTube videos, doesn't mean you are the second coming. I understand, but most people's idea, it's quite funny actually. When people perceive YouTube as just YouTube videos, the reason why they haven't got such an emphasis on how powerful it can be is because they just watch the fucking Sidemen and KSI. Is it real or is it chocolate? While he's in the thumbnail biting a fucking chocolate spanner, and it's like, oh, is it real or is it just a brown spanner or is it chocolate? Who knows? It's like, what are you watching, bro? That's why people fucking think YouTube is just a load of shit. But no, like the actual top tier content, I'll list some. One of the main ones I always go on about is actualized.org. And it's just like all these people are basically visionaries, to be fair. It's the self-help community on YouTube and video content, and it's basically through this means. Since I was about 15, it started with Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson's a university professor who teaches very down to earth, sorry for blowing your ears up, basic self-help. But he also goes somewhat deep into the psychedelics and all this madness. So the internet and YouTube, it's not just YouTube videos, it's literally a fucking hive mind of information. Other than the censorship, and I'm wondering, why is there an agenda to censor people who speak their truth? Like, why is there this council culture sort of shit? Why are people like Andrew and Sneeko getting silenced? I understand their message might not be the best message in the history of the universe, but there's like, do you know how Andrew Tate got fucking banned? It's like all of the fucking entities like Meta and Facebook and even banks, this is a very important point. And one of the maddest things, is that people think there's people speaking out about a lot of this stuff, but until you see somebody take a step forward and actually just start telling it how it is, you're like, why was no one saying this before? It took until 2022 to hear some people literally flat out just tell you about the bullshit nature of coronavirus, the way it was sold to us, the way it was portrayed in the media, the fear mongering. It took a long time for me to discover an actual source, of like these people who are on the internet and just saying how it is. And I'll tell you why these people are so rare, is because you get censored, and it's scary. And I've had to make the decision now, is am I going to be a fucking sheep and go at it the way actualize.org goes at it, where he plays the game strategically. He probably somewhat waters down his message to keep his business. Sorry, someone is messaging me. Oh, never mind, it was my alarm, sorry. To keep his business afloat, because otherwise he'll get heavily censored. And so Andrew Tate's bank accounts got deplatformed. Therefore, I'm pretty sure he lost access to his money, or they fucked him over basically, because they censored him. And all of the social media platforms they hosted all of his stuff on. Same with Sneeko. Sneeko was a YouTuber who got taken down, and these people all have a very common trait, is that they speak, they look at history, they speak on the tyrannical bullshit, they speak on COVID-19 or coronavirus, they speak on misinformation, they talk about health, they talk about the archaic revival, they talk about psychedelics, not necessarily Andrew Tate, he wasn't all out, but they talk ultimately, and this is what the psychedelics are about. So if Andrew's like, oh, I don't like psychedelics, well, hold on. The actual core of psychedelics is about self-empowerment and self-discovery. So we actually share the same message, Andrew, unless you realise it or not. It's all ultimately fuck the bullshit, and you start realising through research, awakenings, questioning everything, and just like spiritual awakening sort of shit. Not even necessarily spiritual, just fuck this moments. And fuck this moments become very frequent in those who are encaged in minimum wage slave cages, where you're literally stood at your job, and next week you're stood at your job, and then the week after you're still stood at your fucking job, and then you get fucking paid in, you know how long it took for me to get my money? I was working 6 fucking weeks, right? I got a job, I'm happy to have the job. That's the thing, it's a minimum wage job, I work in retail. And I'm happy to have the job, then have no money. But the tyrannical bullshit that you have to deal with is round every corner. They just slyly fuck you over. So I had a job and I was working for 6 fucking weeks on £9.90 an hour. And it took me 6 weeks to get my money because of some 2-week cut-off thing, and everyone does a month in hand. A month in hand? Do you realise you're working for free? Who does a month in hand? And then you come home and you fucking pay your Netflix subscription. I don't. That's a fucking retarded trap. I mean, it depends. It depends what you're doing it on. And then your creativity is actually mediated. So censorship, what you're doing ultimately is if someone finds a means to make money, therefore they can extract value from the social matrix. Like, if I make a course and I want to share some knowledge and people are willing to pay me for that, and then I get censored by an authority or a government that says I'm not allowed to sell my information because it goes against the World Health Organization guidelines, and it's not taking COVID-19 too seriously, and this is a conspiracy. About 2-3 years ago, I think YouTube actually outlawed conspiracy videos. They just made I'm sure this policy is still in maintenance, but they literally completely, it's against the terms of service to make conspiracy videos. Now they're still out there, they're not 100% gone, but you're not allowed to on the terms of service, and the terms of service are actually directly tied with the World Health Organization, because I actually got censored on a video I done for COVID misinformation. Big surprise. I was talking to quite a radical guy on TikTok called Spread Truth YT, and now he speaks on crazy shit, to be fair, but he was talking about COVID. But regardless, I got suppressed by an authority, therefore my creativity is owned. And they are mediating me making the type of content I want to create, because someone has the power to enforce my full creative spectrum. So I have to water down my message, and regardless of if it's like facts or not, if I can make money with the public and the public are willing to pay for my service and it's all sound, then who the fuck can tell me I cannot make a living in that manner? Therefore I have to sacrifice my health, I have to buy cheaper food, I have to... but it's not only that, it's like most modern people are actually very miserable, because the agenda of where we think we're headed, are like we're some fucking advanced species, yeah? Well, it actually only serves like top 5%. And I was thinking on a trip ages ago, I had like a vision, I was like, what is power? I took like 9 grams or something mad. And I just had like this thought, like, what the fuck is power? I was just laying in bed for ages, and it was just like visions of like fat, like tyrannical structures crossing the entire fucking globe, owned by 5%, because tribes enslave other tribes, and here we are. And when I don't have the creative freedom to make money how I want to, because I disagree with somebody's view over the microbiome and health, and I can't travel when I don't take a mandatory injection, a needle into my fucking body, and when I didn't get the jab, all of the people that are sorry to fucking say it how it is, but I'm not, and I can't hate on the people, but the people are fucking brainwashed. Because what do most people do? You gotta actually deep this, bro. The shit about watching the fucking television. It's like most people work, say, on a construction site. What have you always got on a construction site? Radio 1, Heart Breakfast, all this shit. What are they doing? It's not, regardless of if it's an agenda, right? Regardless of if you're actually being targeted by the radio on some neuro-linguistic programming shit. Now, all this sounds far-fetched, does it? Well, hold on, mate. You do realise that Actualize.org has a very powerful video called How Socialization Makes You Stupid. So regardless of if it's actually like an agenda to keep you stupid, you're engaging in a social justice warrior hive mind of censorship all the time. You're on a construction site, the radio's playing, right? You work in a warehouse, the radio's playing, even the music. And then what this does basically, and I was saying this to my mother, it's like, look, you gotta understand that, yeah, I'm not like undermining people for getting trapped in this fucking system, but the thing is, when you have this radio and the media and the TV, and they're always perpetuating the same narrative, and the narrative is quite often the materialistic paradigm, but it's all these people who kind of subscribe to the same stuff. And what I mean is like, health is such a massive dimension in this. You are literally what you eat, and people sell that short so much, and we need to focus on that a lot. And you are what you consume, so you're not just what you eat, you are what you consume. You consume the media, the radio, the TV all the time. And then what do they do in the coronavirus? They push fear onto the public and tell us that you cannot go see your family for Christmas. All this fucking madness. What actually was going down, to be fair, I think my sister was having a baby, and they said to her father that he could not be in the presence of the birth giving, regardless of his will or my sister's will, because of germ theory. That is just literally completely Did they teach us fuck all about the immune system? No, they didn't. What did they do? They told us that we can't travel and we can't go out. Therefore, it's hard to source good nutritional food. Therefore, your only option is the local pre-made sandwiches. Processed chicken. Have you seen the chicken warehouses? The vast majority of where you're getting your chicken from is literally, you'll be surprised how they act like it's okay. And then the chickens are fed the cheapest water because it's all built on greed. Cheapest water, cheapest food, cheapest environment, cheapest resources to get maximum overturn and income. And we're putting this shit into our body all the time. We don't know fuck all about a lot of this. So yeah, I'm just going on a fat rant, but I hope that you can resonate with me. And basically what this is, I don't know if I missed any points, by the way. I'm very like sporadic with the way I speak. I just go from one thing to the next, and I'm going to be evolving that the best of my ability ASAP, with speaking more and reflecting and refining more the way I speak and what I say and how I do it. But ultimately what's coming together is a holistic narrative of people that are not just looking for capitalism for themselves. Well, that is what we're aiming for, to take the power back. The power they took from the people will return to the people, and that's what a lot of what we're here for is. But it's not only that, it's not about individual power and individual luxury, not necessarily. I think a big part of what my vision is, and how I differentiate from actualized quite a bit, is it's actually a collective mission, and it's a very tribal mission where it's like, there are so many people, all of my family are suffering because of the economic collapse and the way that they fuck over the public, and just literally they don't care about what they put about the fucking. So it's like, I want to come together with like the human fucking race when this shit overturns, because I do believe there's like actually a decent understanding forming, but like now when now people have caught on, especially because Andrew Tate and COVID. But not saying that these people that Andrew's definitely the fucking second coming, but it's just the fact that people see the censorship, they hear the message, and they're ready to take on the illusory fight of constructed meaning, the play. The fantasy world. The young people going through their problems. The game. The repetition of history. That, gamers, is the game that you've been playing. So let's all fucking understand this narrative, this idea of this game that's going down, and let's march and create a world of archaic values, of claiming your place under the moonlight, no longer giving your power to the least among us, and manifesting and creating the reality to its limits, if there are even such things. We're a farm. You know when you see a farm of like gorillas and monkeys, and they have their cages and they have their little food box where they go get their food, and it's just like it's quite resemblant of the way we live. This place I live, this wage slave council flat of bad health, toxic people, no nature, and the only nature there was were a few trees that the government actually cut all of the greenery and branches off of, and now they're just bare logs sticking out of the fucking ground because of safety. These trees are dangerous, so let's get rid of the only trees that are about. And then we're in such a thick, deprived environment that is just built on concrete and pollution. And then the only way to get paid more money for real-time work are jobs. And the vast majority of these jobs, I've had many of this nature. Right now it's not that bad, because I'm at retail, right? So at least I get fresh oxygen. But I've had my fresh air taken away from me to pay the bills. I've had my health, my posture taken away from me to pay the bills. And then when I get home, I'm so fucking exhausted from being in this artificially lit environment, breathing in dust and diesel in enclosed warehouses and all of this fucking madness while I'm trying to fucking go on my spiritual path and take care of my health, when I'm running around after a fucking bin lorry and I can't even take a breath of air that's not full of fucking dust, and then everyone that on this site thinks I'm insane for giving a fuck about my health. And they actually think it's unhealthy to care about your health. So this is the game, my friends. This is the ultimate predicament. Like the real life game of awakening and conspiracy. Real conspiracy happening now, full blast, and it's almost like I don't know who could have planned a better film, a better movie, a better memory, a better game than the actual Renaissance in real time. And the actual path of self-discovery, awakening, health, vitality, brotherhood, evolution. That we gamers are the gamers of the infinite entertainment system. The infinite ebbs and flows, forgetting and remembering. And here we are. So, the goal, large goal, overall, bigger picture of what's going on here, is a lot of it is self-sufficiency. It's not even a lot of it. This is basically the goal. Me and Key Parks, who I will link in the description, check him out. We're going to be doing a lot of work together into the future. Yeah, a lot of it is about self-sufficiency and, like I say, most of it, and no longer giving your power away to be fed poisonous tap water through the taps, when any time they can just turn the taps off. They can pull the plug, waiting a month in hand for your hard work just to get paid, and then instantly get some fucking mysterious letter through the door that just demands you owe money, and then the result of not paying that money is they take you. You literally have to subscribe to vote. It's like a mandatory, give them your name and address and fill out this fucking form. I hate filling out forms. When I got to like one of my lowest points with my father, and we were struggling to get a place to live until I landed this place in this council flat grid. They just pummel you with forms. Fill out this form. Download the app. I actually wrote a lyric called Dystopia. It was over a year ago. It goes, "Welcome to Dystopia. You own nothing. We own you. You are trapped, so book your jab. Fill out the form and download the app. Now enter your human code. If you don't know, you better get to know. Please enter your life ID and you'll go in pen if you disagree." So yeah, I think it's I think it's decently clear of what we got. So yeah, the bigger picture is just re-empowerment, self-sufficiency. I'm no longer relying. I'm not gonna sit there and wait for your fucking vaccine where you fearmonger to me on the fucking TV about some fucking germ theory virus floating around, and you then lock me in my fucking house, tell me I cannot go to the gym unless I want to be put in a fucking box and get fined even more than I'm already on. And it's like they want you to think that you're not a fucking slave, but you don't actually have really fuck all freedom. You spend most of your days going to work, and regardless of all the awakenings and the madness that I engage with, it's very hard to maintain an awakening when you're in this environment. And you can try and be mindful, you can try and be, but when you're literally just stood behind the till and like you just have loads of negative people just coming to you and just like pummeling you with information for 7 hours a day. Most of them, right, not all of them are negative, right? Obviously a lot of them are actually decent. But the regardless is you're literally stood there tapping buttons on a fucking flat screen, touch screen, just to earn some cunt at the top of the ladder their profit, right? Because they're capitalizing on everything, and there you go. Now they're earning money, right? Or whoever owns these brands and these businesses is obviously balling. So sure, good for them. But we literally are in like some big fuck off grid that just like sucks all of your ambitions out of your soul. So when I'm fucking stood there, I try to be mindful, I try to be good, but eventually it gets to me because I've been doing this shit for 3 years. I'm 19 years old now, and I've been in wage slavery since I was 16. And you want to know a corollary, actually? Mental health and depression, they're side effects of living in an evil society. Or maybe you be binging every weekend and taking loads of drugs. You need to go away and learn about sobriety. When I began my first retail job, and I understand, I'm like, I can't be a victim, I'm not just blaming the world completely, but they do make it very difficult for you, and it almost seems like that was their intention, perhaps. Not everyone can rise to the top. There has to be the vast population in some like tax money farm shit. But when I began my first retail job, that is when I saw my real mental decline. And like I'm alright most days, but I can feel that like the vast majority, if not all of it, is sourced from standing around hunchback like in some artificially lit fucking environment. And I know that where I belong and where I fucking deserve to be is in an eco village with awake, psychedelic, empowered, dreaming people with visions, aspirations, love, community, compassion, conscious people who have done the deep inner work, personal development to the fucking limits, because there are no limits. It's only what your mind is the limit. What you can't conceive of, you can't do. So when it's far-fetched, I applaud the far-fetched. Because most people are too scared to take any action. And I want to see a community of happy people living with health and vitality and intention, an intentional community. We don't just tick over just to go to work, just to get some fucking poison, because they lie to us on the food pyramid. And literally, I got taught the food pyramid in school, bro, since primary school. It's literally fake education. That's why I'm actually now happy I did not engage really much with school, because I knew, and I respect myself for not engaging with that shit. And people are literally, I've been getting, people call me fucking mad for saying I will never send my child to the traditional education system. Why the fuck would I do that when, well, I have to take it upon myself to teach to my children that everything you need to know is within your mind. You don't need to follow some fucking university trap where you end up getting put in debt. You know what they do? You go to university, you get in debt, and then some mad fucking inflation shit, bang, you're in debt forever. You're a slave. Welcome. You should have prepared. Infinite debt is coming. So, we create our realities, tying it all together now with the original point I was making. We are the masters of our reality, and your life in front of you now has basically been created entirely by you. You've lacked the foresight, and now you're 20 years old, 30 years old, fucking 40 years old, who knows. If you're even younger, then do not waste any fucking time. Get on the money business, ASA fucking P. And we really should have been working on this from day one, but no one tells you. Why is there such... You know what? I've got to tie this point together at the end. I say, when it comes to personal development and this re-empowerment shit that I'm on about, there is a severe lack of direction, especially for young men. But not just young men, just the general youth. You see them all hanging around on the streets, knife crime, fucking... It's like we're just playing games with ourselves, don't you see? We just bounce from one pleasure to the other, just fucking around on the street, smoking weed, doing stupid, and then there's no actual bigger picture motive that's being worked towards or built. So there's a severe lack for the youth in my own observation, regardless of what I was saying here. So, hold on, there's a lack for the youth of direction, therefore we're disempowered, and we kind of lack foresight to where we're headed and a big zoom out picture of everything, right? Maybe the reason why that is, one, why that might have been enforced is because it actually makes us weak, makes revolution unlikely. People are so directionless, unknowing, in a materialistic paradigm, and we're seen as cattle, and we're victim to a system of that makes man torture. And what do? They censor people like Andrew Tate when they try to get up and say, what's with this paradigm? What's being enforced? They censor them. They censor me. They censor Sneeko. They censor Conor Murphy. They censor Actualize.org. They censor Russell Brand. They censor Wim Hof. And they make substances like psychedelics illegal, so it is impossible to research into the nature of this facet of reality. They literally close it off. That is not freedom. You think you're free coming home from work and having an evening on the sofa to plug into the fucking hive mind of stupidity that's your TV. That I was seeing this TV advert earlier. They literally perpetuate poison. This woman going, oh, put my chips on the bread. White bread, bruv, with butter and fried chips in the oven. Bird's eye baby, mum. And I'm like, they literally post this shit. And it just makes you dumb, bruv. You know what's in your water? It's just making you fucking stupid. And then you're watching that shit. And it like programs you subconsciously, regardless if you actually realize it or not. Because it just reinforces a narrative, and that's what hive mind groupthink is. And it's not that you choose to fucking engage with it, it's just a part of your nature. If you hear a perpetual paradigm, aka the traditional narrative that gets spread on the TV, then it just kind of like goes into your paradigm. It's like when you watch particular different personal development channels, that's what me and Key was speaking about, when he listens to typical, like, if you listen to drill, it makes you think that you're a bad man. If you listen to other music, it kind of does this neurolinguistic programming madness on your subconscious, and it just kind of, like when you watch a horror movie, you get up and you think that that the house is scary, or it used to when I was a kid, or if you watch like a bad man film, you think you're a bad man. If you watch Rocky, you go to the gym. It's that neurolinguistic programming shit. So you gotta literally watch what you consume, bruv. Start meditating, and it's literally a madness. So that's it. I've got to go to my wage slave job now for 8 hours, and then do it again tomorrow. And then in like 5 days, I get 1 day off, and then I got like 5 more days, and then yeah, and I'll get paid a month in hand. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was just a fat off rant, but I feel like it was good. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you very much. Goodbye. All of my socials are linked below. Bless as fuck.